to. Fun and laughter on a summer holiday. No more worries for me or you. For a week or two, we're going where the sun.
Welcome to a special Christmas edition of the Collingwood Rant. I am Sly.
And I am Santa Spook.
Spook, let me ask you before we begin in earnest.
Now, can I just stop you for a second? Why don't you ask me something before we begin in earnest?
Okay. Have you recovered from the grand final loss?
Fuck, which one?
From the most recent one.
No.
No, I haven't either. I'm still angry. I actually went to a Bon Jovi concert. My credibility's probably dropped now. At the MCG, and as soon as I walked in, my anger just skyrocketed. I wanted to kill everyone there. Sorry, that's a little bit inappropriate, but geez, the anger was still seething.
Well, just sitting here, and every time I talk to my right, this is exactly the same angle that I sat behind Dom fucking Sheed's goal. And I'll never forget it.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately too many of those memories. Anyway,
Yes.
for this special edition, we have...
It's not really special, it's probably just an addition.
No, special. We're going to look at Collingwood's list management, and then we have a very special segment, the inaugural awards show for the Collingwood Rant called Varieties.
Oh, that's an imaginative name.
That is imaginative. That took us how long to come up with?
Do we talk nanoseconds?
I don't know. How long does it take to lose a grand final? So, Collingwood list management going into 2019.
Yes.
And I'm really excited about this list we've put together to lose our next grand final. So Alex Fasolo...
It's funny because it's true.
It's unfortunate. Alex Fasolo's gone off to Carlton.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh, that's a shame.
I actually do think it's a shame. I think he still had something to offer, and you could have played him up forward and wanted to push Stephenson and DeGoey.
Potentially, but
Potentially.
I don't think he'd play a lot of VFL if he stayed with us.
I think he probably would too, but
where's he gone?
Carlton.
Oh, so he is playing a bit of VFL.
Unfortunately, I think Carlton's going to actually improve a little bit.
Well, you couldn't get any worse.
Kyle Kirby, they're listed, unfortunately, due to the heart issues.
That was a shame.
That really is a massive shame. Adam Oxley, is that right? Is that I don't know. I just lifted this off a news site. Adam Oxley, that's a shock. Josh Smith,
Yeah, another shock.
picked up by West Coast.
Yeah, that name again!
Why? I don't know. He's like, oh, we've beaten Collingwood in the grand final. Let's take a guy who was 29th on their list.
That's why they win flags.
Jared Blair, relatively long, illustrious career comes to an end.
We should say goodbye to him.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Blairy. With Blairy, I don't think he was ever a world beater, but we've talked about how dysfunctional the forward line's been previously, and guys like Darcy Moore have suffered, so I don't know why Jared Blair's expected to fare any better. Particularly when
he was a lead-up centre-half forward there
yeah,
for a long
particularly when the shortest player in the team is your key positioner. So I
Those
don't
were the days.
Yep, I don't understand how that works. And the one that was a bit of a surprise, Sam McClarty.
Oh, I'm surprised. Yeah, actually, I was surprised on that one. I thought from the limited viewings that I had of the VFL, there was moments where he looked like he had enormous upside, but obviously he was rated too big, lumbering and slow or something. I don't know.
I watch very little VFL, so I can't really comment. I have a cousin who watched...
no one watches Carlton.
Yeah, I have a cousin who watched some VFL, and he actually thought McClarty showed enough to be kept on. I will say, I'm actually a little bit annoyed because McClarty, at the start of the year, they seemed to target him for that key forward relief ruck role, and they've played him in that position, and he hasn't prospered, because who does? And it hasn't worked out, and then they've cut him, so I'm really curious what their criteria is.
I can only assume that they've used the AFL evolution yardstick, because when we played him in our side, he was useless.
He was... But I don't... I mean, that's the same thing happened to Chris Dawes. You know, Chris Dawes was going to be a world beater, but again, you play him as a ruck, you play him as a forward, he's got to do that. He's a young player, he didn't fare well, and you're surprised that he's not actually developing. I'm really curious if something more will come out about McClarty's story. Because,
well, he's gone to Williamstown for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean actually the reasons why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant there was more to his story, but...
no.
No, I don't know. Maybe just they just didn't feel he could cut the mustard.
Maybe that's just simply the case. But given our lack of height...
Oh, we got Roughhead in.
Given our lack of height... No, but seriously, I mean, you got Roughhead in, but Dunn's still got a question mark because of his knee. Goldsack is punching above his weight, so you would have thought they probably would have kept him on as a bit of depth.
I would have thought so for
I honestly would have thought that unless they've really identified that they don't think he's going to make it, I would have thought they would have said, you know what, let's just play him fullback or centre half back the whole year. Let's not move him and see if he develops, because traditionally talls do take longer to develop. And you have any number of examples of talls, and Simon Brestagio is a really good example, who really struggle for about 5 years, and then it just clicks for them, and then they look, great. So
I guess some of the logic also, could be that if you think now clearly that your premiership window is open, how long would you want to drag him through when he's not likely to probably get a game unless we have a massive amount of attrition again in terms of injuries?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're probably not going to get a senior game in the next year or two. Maybe they sort of factored that in as well as
the way we get injuries. I'd get a senior game.
It's like watching dominoes fall at times, really.
It's scary. And finally, Sam Murray, but he will be redrafted as a rookie, and Broomhead too.
Yes, because I don't believe the Murray incident gets any sort of resolution until next year or something.
Well, if he hired Essendon's lawyer, so they should get a resolution about 2023. So we'll get about 60 games out of him, and then maybe he'll win a couple of Norm Smith medals, and then they'll suspend him for a year, and they'll take away all his medals retrospectively, and then we'll lose the 2 grand finals, which we won because we played him.
That would be a scenario I imagine would happen.
I don't think it's a scenario. I think it's a probability. Yeah. In the draft, Isaac Quaynor.
Very excited about him.
So I don't understand the way the draft system works. Apparently it goes on points or something, and we had 98 picks in the 40s. Greater Western Sydney bid.
All you got to do is match, I think, the point value of the bid that's going in, and then you're guaranteed to have him, which works well in terms of what we ended up getting and at what picks essentially they were equated to. I just don't see the logic of the system really. Anyway, I think it's obviously big in America with I think they do this with the NFL or the NBA or something, this bidding system and the points value, and trying to turn the draft into some sort of spectacle. Really just spread some fucking names out. Here's some picks, spread some names.
Don't ever want... The only time I ever watched a draft was when we got Luke Ball, because I had like an interest. Well, I hope we get Luke Ball.
Yep.
That was the only time I ever watched a draft. I actually don't care about the draft. I would rather someone just message me, these are the guys we've picked up, or news site reported, these are the guys you picked up. With no disrespect intended to any...
What you can do, though, in that scenario is you can firmly put your own head up your bum for a few hours and then just come back and read EB&W.
I would do that, but I'd probably do a hammy. But, no disrespect intended to any of the draftees, but they're just names until,
And that's the thing. I mean, you really can't pump them up too much. I mean, the draft night was full of all these wonderful little vignettes of here I am, this is what I do, I go fishing. You've got no association with, because you don't have any competition that is watchable, that shows the development of these kids. I think you see the odd snippet of an empty ground and they kick a footy around for about 10 minutes and attack.
And again, that's it.
So
and they're highlights, so you're obviously going to see highlights.
And the only ones you're sort of wary of going into the draft are the ones that are probable number one and maybe 2 or 3 that are potentially going to go. And you think, well, none of them are coming to us, so what do you care?
Maybe to a lesser extent the father-sons, that they will actually get through to the clubs.
Does that thing even work anymore?
I don't know. I think the draft as a spectacle is ridiculous, and that they try to actually make it this extravaganza. Does anyone really care? Can you just, tell us who's where? Anyway, so Isaac Quaynor we got for 84 pick 40s, which equaled point 13 or pick 13. I don't know how it works.
It's what the nomination comes in is where they usurp that pick or something.
Yep, and he's meant to be an exciting halfback rebounder.
Yeah, I really love his highlights package, and even the one that the club put up the other night where he sort of just bounded through the pack and showed a lot of foot speed. Obviously ran about 20 metres too far, but I'm sure you can get that out of his game. But he does look like a potential excitement machine.
Yeah, my query on him would be height, because he's actually not that tall. Will Kelly, who is tall. He's the father, son of...
The thing is, you look at him and he's a beanpole, and look, I hadn't really followed any of the potentials prior to when we picked them. But when I looked at his highlights package, I was pleasantly surprised about how well he moved and used that size, even though he looks like a small breeze would send him sailing, but he looks quite... there's a lot of upside there.
So he's probably still got about 2-3 years of development, body-wise.
He's a bit like the second Brown that we've got. What's his name? Trevor Brown or Taylor Brown or
Tyler Brown.
Tyler
Yeah.
Brown, that's him. He looks, tall and rangy and a prospect.
Yeah.
So they're going to obviously take a few years to fill out. It's just obviously McClarty. That's probably where he fucked up. He was too filled out when he came to us.
Well, I'm a romantic at heart, so I love when we get father sons into the club. They can continue that great tradition of
losing grand finals.
Actually,
his old man didn't experience one, did he?
All that's why he didn't want the 23. He asked for a new number. He didn't want to lose a grand final in the jumper that his father won a flag in. Same with Dacos and Brown. They're on top of it.
And it's worked well so far.
I am probably going to butcher this name. Atu Bosun Villagi. I'm sorry. Apologies. I'm not trying to make fun of it. I honestly can't pronounce it.
I don't think anyone can.
We actually differed on the opinion of these highlights. I actually really liked them. He had a good fend off, showed a bit of speed.
Yeah, look, I think his pace looks like his big weapon, but the height concerns me. His size. I mean, again, we've drafted him as an opportunistic small forward, which we don't really need at the moment. But he could have some potential upside.
I sort of disagree. I think we do need that Leon Davis, Andrew Cracker type. Didact to a lesser extent. That guy who's just going to...
You're not making this a racial thing, are you?
No. Just the guy who's going to crumb once the ball hits the ground. Yeah. I reckon a lot of the time...
That'll be Elliot these days, because I don't think he's leaving the ground ever again.
Well, he's got to get on the ground before he can do any of that. But,
fair point.
And Elliott's actually a really good example. Elliot, Fasolo, Medhurst, Didact, all those small forwards we've had over the last 20 years. You can even throw Dacos in there to an extent, but he was a master once he hit the ground anyway. But all these small forwards we get, they all play like lead-up forwards. Blair's another one. They didn't really sort of capitalise on the ball once it hit the ground. It was like, let me lead, take a mark. And they all played like that. They had elements of crumbing and all that, but they weren't, that opportunistic Wingard, Rioli type. Their strength was their leading and their marking. So I actually think we need someone who's, just stay down. Down,
Poochie.
Just stay down. It's like, when Blair used to go out for marks, they just stay down. And again, this is why Dacos was a master. Throw Rioli in there too. Rioli, the thing I really liked about Cyril Rioli was he knows when to go and when not to go. He knows
gone now.
Yeah, but he knows when to have a shot. He knows when to center it and all that.
He's got to know when to hold him. He's got to know when to fold him. He's got to know when to walk away and know when to run.
I reckon the big problem in today's environment is you get a lot of small forwards who go, I'm going to bounce it 28 times and roll it through and all that shit. If you watch Dacos knew when to do that and when not to do that. Too many forwards now just go for the glory, and they don't actually know just when to be sensible and do the sensible thing. It still equals 6 points if you kick it through. So I actually would love a small forward who could crumb off Coxie, Myercheck, more if he ever gets out there, and a guy who's got that X factor to create goals out of nothing, which I don't think we really have to that fullest potential. I mean, we have guys who can do it to an extent, like Huskin Elliott and Elliott and all that. But you don't have that, that pure Andrew Cracker type, I'm just going to crumb it and I'll create a goal out of nothing. Yeah. I'll create an opportunity. And he will actually apply pressure. And Leon Davis did that really well in 2A10. And that's what I think we're missing. We're really missing that grounded forward. Anyway, so
hopeful. I'm seriously hopeful for him. Obviously,
I'm hopeful.
I hate him, but
look, we've said this before.
I think the way I sort of sum it up is I think where we took him is about right. That later in the draft. You're not going to expect miracles at that end, but hopefully you get one.
We've talked about this before. I mean,
we'll skip past it then.
Yeah, we want every player to succeed. I don't understand when punters make early calls and go, this guy's terrible after 10 games. And it's like...
why wait till 10 games?
Yeah. And then...
You know everything by the second one.
A lot of those people have double standards. It's like, no, give this guy time. And he's terrible. And I just give him an opportunity to... to
learn from your mistakes.
And to acclimate to the tempo and all that. I mean, we were talking about Bob Murphy, who was the one who said, once you get to about 40, 50 games, the game just slows down. Yeah. And you look at a lot of players, again, Prestigiac came as a really good example. People were baying for his head for 5 years. He was just really mediocre. I remember Ron Conley saying he was a disgrace to that number, 35. And then I remember him talking in 2000, and he was just saying, I don't know what's happened. He's just really become a extremely good fullback. So there is obviously, for a lot of players, that tipping point where they get experience, they get composure, they get size, they get endurance, whatever the case is, or it's just a lot of factors, and they click. I'm not saying it's going to happen to everyone, but geez, the guys who are out there, just give them a chance for a bit. Please.
I concur.
Yep. You concur. Okay. So trades. We got in that guy named Dane Beams for 2 first-rounders.
Who's he? He sounds like a dud.
He is a former... he's never played in the losing Collingwood grand final.
No, he did dodge 11, didn't he?
Yeah, he dodged it.
Smart man.
So
but he came back. He's not that smart.
We got him for what? Pick 19 and next year's first rounder.
Yes.
So a lot of it's going to be qualified on what happens next year. If it's like a pick 15 up, you think, okay, that's reasonably...
No, I think when you look at it, I suppose logically, which is the way the draft works now. Essentially we got Quaynor as a first rounder at any rate. Yeah. So it's not like we burnt one this year now, and next year's is almost irrelevant because you just go and look at the next year's one at any rate. The following year's one. So you've always got a first rounder essentially. No,
but you won't have a first rounder next year if, for example.
Yeah, but we can then just dip into the one next year.
No, but if we actually if we actually wanted to spend it on the draft that next year, we wouldn't have a pick. We could spend it in terms of trading, but let's say we finish 4th last.
Oh, yeah, sorry, we could trade the following year's one. Yeah, I'm with you now.
Yeah, so
I'm with myself now.
Yeah, yes. We wouldn't have a pick in that draft. So it's going to be a lot of it's going to be qualified on where that pick ends up. It's like the Treloar one. People in retrospect said we paid too much because it ended up being 2 pick 7s. Collingwood probably estimated to be pick 7 and pick 12 or 13 or something like that, which would have seemed more reasonable. So if the Beams one remains 2 picks in the teens, it's probably okay. If that pick dips into below 10, then I think you've paid too much.
Yeah, it's always emotion in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have done it. I think the emotion influenced this decision. I don't think we're really... I mean, who was it? Ned Guy or someone said you can never have enough classy midfielders. That's right, but he is 29 next year.
He's fucking good though.
He is good, but I'm just a bit worried. The player of that ilk, and we saw this probably a bit with Pendlebury and Selwood, whose bodies have just been battered over the years. They tend to drop off relatively quickly. I hope you get 2 really good years out of him. But, I just really wonder, should we have paid this amount? If it was someone else, would you have paid this? If it wasn't bringing Beams back home to Collingwood, there wasn't that romanticism of getting back?
I don't know.
As it is, I hope
we win a flag next year, it doesn't really matter.
He'll be in the stands with the other 28 injured
Anyway, I wouldn't worry too much about Beams. He's got a whole pre-season to try and get through yet.
Yeah. Oh, look, I hope the trade pays off. I really do.
Oh, fucking oath.
I hope, but not just pays off, I hope it pays off big time. You look at Jolly. Jolly was pick 14 like pick 46 or something. And we really only got 2010 out of him as a full year. In 2011, he was regularly injured. And then 2012, I can't remember if he lasted 2 more years, but he was even more injured. So we really only got that 1 year out of him, but he really influenced the premiership.
That's it.
So that's, a really good pickup. So,
win.
Yeah. So in the end, it comes back to, well, what did we get out of it? And
flag.
Well, if we get
that's
a
minimal pass mark for me.
Yep. But if he plays 60 games in 4 years, then I would think that was a first, and we don't win the flag.
Well, we signed him for 4 years, so we're obviously hopeful.
Well, 60 games would be, overachieving at Collingwood in 4 years. Jordan Roughhead, he'll be 28 in November.
Yeah, it's a strange one, that one.
And he says he's got his best football in front of him.
Apart from the year where he was really good and they won a flag.
Oh, well, they were all playing well that year.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm sceptical on this one. I potentially it could end up being quite good. I mean, it's one of those chicken soup things. It's not really going to hurt.
No,
I
thought what they got.
We haven't given up anything, or it's. If it fails, it's not like it's going to cripple you or anything like that.
No. No, he won't. He'll be 28. I mean, my concern is he was struggling at the Dogs, and they didn't have...
Everyone's been struggling at the Dogs since they won a
flag. But this is the thing, he wasn't, this is a sign that anyone should be getting a game right now, and he was still struggling there. And he's probably one of those guys who, as a tall, any sort of player, who's, shown flashes of promise and shown stretches of promise, but then hasn't reached that as his standard. So,
if he likes hugging and he likes being photographed half naked hugging in the rooms, he'll fit in well with us.
Yeah. Look, I hope it works out. Obviously, with the injuries we've had, we really need talls. But also the other thing is, you look at him, he's 28 in November. Dunn's 31 or 32. Sacks about 30, 31.
It's about the window.
And Howe is 28.
It's the window.
I know it's the window, but I'd actually would have liked someone a little bit younger in their prime rather than on the other side of their prime. I know Roughhead says his best football's ahead of him, but, you know, who gets better at 28?
Oh, I did.
Who else gets better at 28?
Were you any good?
Oh, it was brilliant the whole time. It just, the excellence was sustained over decades.
You might want to rethink this statement. I think a lot of people were good after 28.
No, who gets better, not who was good.
No. What's next?
And that's it for the list. We'll have the Ranties coming next.
Ooh, I'm looking forward
to
it. So
are you excited about the list as it is, the shape of the list?
Yes, against my better judgment and the fact that I hated every second that we lost that grand final and I despised them and I love them in the same breath. Watching that montage highlights package of training the other night just really got me going again. It's seeing the likes of, and they focused obviously a little bit on these two with Moore and Elliott actually out there kicking a football.
Yeah.
It really then you're looking at some of the quality that's out there and the guns that we have. It does get you a little bit excited because
they've flown
the fucking flag.
They've flown to Germany to talk to.
Yeah, they went and they're back.
Yeah, oh, they're back. Yeah, but to talk to some hamstring specialist. So hopefully they actually get up and running. I think if Elliott has another bad year,
I mean,
that's it.
They had to do that walk for a long time, the Germans. So they're obviously stretching the hamstrings. Is obviously
don't mention the war. I mentioned it once, but I got away with it. No, Elliott, if he has another bad year of injury, you'd think that's it. His body's just saying, I can't do it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon.
We only gave him another year anyway, didn't we? I think you'd have to concede that. Yeah, I mean, we've signed him for a year. That's it. It's done.
I'm not looking at it from that practical standpoint. I'm just saying, in terms of physically, he missed what year was it? 2016. He missed the whole year.
Yeah.
And I think even before that, he missed much of 1 year with injuries and.
He's an absolute gun though.
He's a superstar.
If he can get on the park, fucking hell.
He's the sort of
side that we've built.
Cox is getting there, but Elliott's the sort of guy when the ball's kicked in his vicinity, opposition panic. And he's the sort of guy that drags away defenders, so it leaves other players unchecked. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you can get both of them in the side. Hopefully, for the first time in Buckley's 8-year career, that he can actually have a relatively full list to choose from, or if he has injuries, they're to peripheral players that are easily replaced. I mean, I think the injuries this year actually helped in some way because it exposed players like Myercheck, who was a revelation.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the end result wasn't by design, and I think that really, it's really given us a different perspective on our list, which has been a benefit. And we almost snatched the flag out of it too.
We should have hammered the flag in. Anyway, that's it from us regarding the list. Next, we'll have the Ranties.
Ooh, this is going to be exciting.
Welcome back to the Collingwood Rant. Now it's time for Varieties, which celebrates excellence in shit journalism.
Ooh, there should be some good nominees in this bunch.
Well, have we seen shit journalism in 2018 to rival shit journalism as has never been rivaled before?
Let me just take a minute to ponder this. Fuck yes.
Yeah, I think the pervasion of social media and online news sites and all that really helped shit journalism get out there in a way that it's never gotten out there before.
Well, it got us on the internet.
You're not shit journalists, we're just shit hosts. Shit panelists. But, also you get a lot of football shows which have journalists on them now. So, let's begin with our first category.
Drum roll.
First award goes for the worst newspaper journalist.
Ah, yes.
And the nominees are Mark Robinson, Patrick Smith, Caroline Wilson, Damien Barrett, and David King. Spook.
Yes.
The winner.
Hang on, let me just get our assistant to send it to us.
To get the predator.
That's like a special effect. And the winner is... Mark Robinson.
Well done, mate. He must be very proud to take that out, to be the inaugural winner.
It's a great start.
It's a brilliant start.
It's a great start from Robbo.
Yep. Next category, worst radio journalist.
The envelope, please. Blairy. Thanks, mate.
And the nominees are... Don't open it yet.
Aww.
Nominees are...
I can't wait.
Kevin Bartlett.
Gollum.
Mark Robinson. Sam McClure. Andy Marr. And Mick Malloy.
Ooh, I can't see anyone not beating Andy Marr in this.
Oh. And the winner, Spook.
Oh, let me just check. Bugger me.
Who?
It's Robbo.
Well done. That is brilliant. Next category is for the worst television journalist.
Is it you?
I'm not on television yet.
Ha
Get me there and I could win this. I could aspire to this. Worst television journalist. And the nominees are Mike Sheehan, Mark Stevens, Damien Barrett, Craig Hutchison.
Hang on a second though. In order for Barrett to be a shit journalist, doesn't he have to be a journalist? He's a muckraker.
Well, he writes sliding doors. That's journalism, isn't it?
Your favourite, yes.
Craig Hutchison.
Ooh, Hutchie.
And Mark Robinson.
Ooh, I'm sensing a pattern here.
And the winner, Spook,
is Robbo.
hang on, that's the wrong envelope.
Oh shit, hang on. Let me just get the other one.
Sorry.
Still Robbo.
Right, well done.
I've dropped the prop. Hold that thought.
Next category is for the worst social media journalist.
Should we tweet this one?
We should tweet.
We should
this.
live tweet this one.
If you're watching this,
how do you do it?
live tweet. Well, we're not live. We're actually recorded, so that's probably going to be an issue. But if you're watching this live, hopefully. Worst social media journalist. And the nominees are Jay Clark,
Ooh.
Tom Brown,
Ooh.
John Ralph,
Ooh.
Sam Landsberger,
Ooh.
and Mark Robinson.
Oh, come on. Is he on social media?
He is on social media.
Jeez, he gets around this bloke.
Do you know there's a group, Blocked by Robbo, that
Is there?
celebrates being blocked
Jeez, that must be a big group.
by Robbo?
Is there anyone left that's not blocked by Robbo? I've heard he's even blocked himself.
I think the Blocked by Robbo population is bigger than the population of China.
It's bigger than Texas.
It's okay. And the winner, Spook.
No, it wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you.
The winner is Robbo!
Well done.
How does he keep doing it?
This is excellence as we have never seen excellence before.
Incredible performance. He won't go to clean sweep, will he? Surely not.
No one's ever done. I mean, there's a category I don't think you can win. Anyway, for the worst male journalist, then he'd have to be the favourite now, wouldn't he?
Oh,
Surely. Craig Hutchison.
Ooh.
Mark Stevens. Damien Barrett.
He's pretty bad.
Mark Robinson.
Oi.
And John Ralph Mouth. I might have ad-libbed a bit of a name there. And the winner, Spook.
Let me just use my barely adequate psychic abilities. It's Robbo! Let me just...
Check.
Confirmation.
Check.
It's Robbo.
You should show that to the cameras just so they know we're not faking.
It's not fake. See, it's Robbo.
That's amazing. Well done. Golf clap. The final category for the Ranties 2018. The worst female journalist.
He can't win this one.
He cannot win this one.
He cannot win this one.
And
who would it be? Do we have anyone other than Caro?
Nominees are
Yeah.
Caroline Wilson.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
And the winner, Spook.
Okay. Should be a fait accompli this one. The winner of the worst female journalist is Mark Robinson.
Well done.
How does he do it?
That is fantastic. Thank you for joining us for the Ranties. Thank you for joining us at the Collingwood Rant for 2018.
Yes, thank you very much.
Barring injury or death or lawsuit, we will be back for 2019.
What's a lawsuit?
It's when you defame someone. Have we defamed anyone?
Only the movie Fame.
What a movie. I want to live forever. Best wishes to Big Tone and to Ed from the West.
Yes, they're having a little bit of fun in the hospital wards at the moment.
Yep, Collingwood will do it to you. Get better soon, guys. Yes. Collingwood needs you next year to be there with us.
You can't miss the next grand final loss.
No. Fortunately, none of us can. It's like the Titanic hitting an iceberg. Anyway, that's it from us for 2018. Have a great Christmas and a happy New Year.
Ho, ho, fucking ho. I have a machine gun.
See you next year.
Don't go changing.